This NFL Conference Championship Props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Hey, Sean.
What's happening?
Well, only a couple games left in the NFL
Oh,
season.
yeah, it is
starting to hit me.
the reality that there's only 3 games left. Luckily, with the prop market, there are millions of things to bet on. Joining us here to talk about all the conference championship props. You know him, you love him. Host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. The laddie daddy himself, the man in the box, C.J. Sullivan. What's happening, CJ?
Nothing. What's up, fellas? Good to be here on one of the final times. Getting a little nipply in here.
Yes, Tidbit nipply in here. Nipply. Of course, YouTube.com/sportsgambling podcast to see the visual of both CJ and Ryan wearing the "Can I see your TDs" t-shirt.
The color combo is very Dumb and Dumber.
CJ representing his Jaguars with a nice teal, I guess you could say, kind of Jaguars inspired.
We do have a nice teal in the store. Some of the other shirts have the same teal, and I got the nice salmon.
Yeah,
salmon.
Nice salmon there.
Someone
as
from
well.
Philly might say.
Little chaos going down in
all the
Jacksonville,
letters, you know?
right? But this shirt is bringing us through. I was against it at first. The logo, I like the prop.
Yeah,
the TD prop, but this definitely has a FBI female body inspector vibe to it.
I was gonna say
that's why it's instead. And
but I've switched on it now that I see it on me. I love it. It's a bold statement.
The footballs representing the cans there in that situation, and you're saying, can I see your TDs? It's not like, show me your TDs. That's true. Exclamation point. That would be.
It's very consensual.
When I get home, I'll let you know what my wife and kids think.
Well, hopefully, maybe it's a gift for the missus. Probably not. Depends on how your marriage is set up or your girlfriend. Maybe it's a good bachelor party gift. Promo code Big Game, 15% off everything in the merch store. I'm rocking. Just got this. The I wagered today. Our take on no politics on SGPN, but 15% off. Promo code Big Game, all one word, between now and when the big game happens. You know what the big game is. 15% off everything in the merch store. So if you've been on the fence, perfect time to fire. And we got some new hats coming out, dropping any day now. So can't wait. We'll share those on social. Jake did a really good job designing them.
Jake's also crushing. He's cleaning the store up. So
yeah.
You know, it's
easier. Well,
it might have looked a little bit like a Ross around the holidays, and we're tidying it up now.
Some items kicking around that weren't really flying off the shelves. Ryan, speaking of, what has sold more, your puzzle or your mouse pad?
Well, I'll have to ask Jake, but I do know that both products have been purchased by people who are not me.
Okay,
which is. Right there,
just higher than
we are at an alarming place. I will say one of the products was purchased for a friend's mom who may have been fond of me back in the day. So perhaps a bit of a gag gift. I think.
Wow.
I would imagine I do think we need to get a calendar item.
Okay.
It does seem like, mouse pad, the puzzle. I still to this day I have no clue why we did that. It was a draft day thing. No one needs a puzzle in my face. Even my kid doing the puzzle was like, "Daddy, this is weird. This is a little strange. I'm not used to." But a calendar?
Yeah.
where everyone, SGPN personalities can contribute.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
a lot.
I think the
that
laddie.
sounds hot.
Well,
what
and-
month is the laddie daddy? July 4th, right?
I think so, but I mean, to me, I'm picturing some like spring
Yeah,
because
you're
I'm
right,
picturing
you're
a ladder. CJ climbing a ladder up to a tree. There's a cat up there that's stuck. CJ's pulling the cat. That would be my first.
Maybe the
instinct.
Easter bunny.
Well, that's the
stuck
thing
up
with
there.
ladders.
Oh, okay.
Ladders are all season. I mean,
That's
there's
true.
Yeah, you could be hanging up the Christmas lights.
cleaning the gutters.
Cleaning the
Fall
gutters.
Leaves are coming down.
Oh yeah, sexy gutter cleaning with the laddie daddy.
Right, prune training.
Yeah, me and
pruning,
Sean
you
got
know?
actually. Me and Sean will take July 4th.
I was just saying.
We're already building the calendar out.
I was just gonna say, if anything, you just convinced me to do a 12-month ladder calendar, basically.
Yeah.
A little side.
That's
note.
actually a great idea.
Yeah, seasonal ladder calendar. Terrell, of course, hosts the NBA and WNBA gambling podcast.
Yeah.
Saying dibs on February. He's already locked in February. Get the kitty out
I
of
like
the
that.
tree.
The Valentine's Day. I could see
Yes.
scantily clad Terrell. Maybe.
No.
Nice. Wow, Terrell, that's a long parlay you got there.
Well, George Washington wig for presidential weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be fun.
Oh, there's so many funny things happening right now.
So we got the merch sale going, and also I forget if we announced it or not on the pick show last night, but a reminder: hats off to the winner of the College Football Challenge, $1,000 headed your way, Ryan De La Fuente. So congrats to you,
That's
Ryan
not a real name.
De La Fuente. Well, maybe it's CJ's alias.
Is that a stage name? De La Fuente.
I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, but
Hola.
I could be messing it up.
Muy caliente.
That's not one of my fake. I have plenty of fake entries in there, but De La Fuente is not my style. Come
En
on.
fuego.
Gaming the style. So good reminder, download the SGPN app. We have some we will be announcing some contests, some squares contests for everyone, and then some bonus contests for the patrons. Obviously Super Bowl right around the corner. So always hooking you guys up. Getting some cash in the old pockets. And we got a bunch of picks, props. We're going to be doing one prop from each game, a weekly leader / ladder play, first touchdowns, DGen only prop, Ryan. And also I think we already put in one prop, or sorry, one parlay already. We'll put in the private stock. And I think if we get like 25 likes on the live YouTube, we'll release our private stock.
What is this?
What do you mean?
You just giving away my private stock?
Yes, I will release a bet that Kramer and I already submitted.
No, that's
do you mean?
crazy.
Why is that crazy?
That's gonna have to be more than 25 likes.
All right, well, keep the likes coming. Maybe we'll get a bonus play on top of it. Crack open the private stock, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Hit our likes. And let's get to it. All right, before we get into the props, of course, if you're looking to get on props, especially TDs, aka anytime TDs, we're talking DraftKings and playoffs. DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the National Football League. Playoff time, you got to get those touchdowns, aka the TDs. I'm particularly intrigued about the anytime touchdown price for a bunch of people. Let's see. I will pull up the anytime touchdown price. Ryan, what do you think DraftKings has for the touchdown price for Mr. Jalen Hurts? What do you think they're hanging that at right now over on DraftKings?
I mean, if they have any sort of intelligence, no offense to DraftKings, but it's got to be minus 135.
Minus 115, so even lower.
Updating my prop sheet. Hold on.
Yes, of course. Lines and objects subject to change, and new customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Always enjoy when CJ's on. A great addition to the show, but also. Now that we have the whole card cam, it's always ends up where CJ has his mouse. So out of the corner of my eye on our studio monitor, I get to see CJ moving his mouse around, and I just imagine him cooking up some ladders there.
And it's huge. It's like the incredible.
It's basically the size of like a tenth of the monitor.
Right. Yeah.
It's very fun, and also CJ, feel free. Kramer, can we use the whole card cam to show some of CJ's handwritten notes? That's
oh my God, that's not good. That's a. Bug.
I mean, it's a regular hand. It just looks.
No, but with the bug bite, it looks very 1950s sci-fi. It says a bug bite there that came over the night there. It looked like, oh God, is that a liver spot on his hand? Like Andy Rooney's hand?
Put the paper on top of your mouse here. The people will get we'll give a little sneak peek.
Paper on top of the mouse.
Yeah, just a little sneak peek.
Yeah,
here we
look
go.
at these. Look at these.
Here we go. Sit
numbers.
down. If you're
Oh my goodness gracious.
Arrows.
Oh, geez. Look beautiful.
That's
all you get. That's all you get.
Last week we had the W on W, Cooper versus Cooper notes, shorthand notes for white on white.
Yeah.
That was
what happened over there,
peek
Sean?
Into the back. Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, I was just
Sean wants to bring his distraction. Now that you were distracting with your notes, he's feeling a little.
He's got his own notes. So
I just want to make sure.
He's feeling.
Ryan's not ready for inner excellence, CJ.
No,
I am ready for inner excellence.
It's such a distraction. Just you bringing a book on the set is such a distraction.
No, it clearly isn't. It fits in great.
Why don't you go first, since you are excellent from the inside?
Okay. I'm channeling my inner excellence. My first prop, we'll do in one per team. We'll start with the Commanders/Redskins here. I'll go with my favorite prop for the Washington team. Give me Jaden Daniels to throw an interception.
Really?
-115 at DraftKings Sportsbook. He's thrown 3 in the 2 games they've played together. I think going back to my handicap of the game, I think Jalen Carter is going to be able to blow through Sam Cosmi's replacement there, and I think they're going to be able to pressure him. And you look at there's been 5. We keep talking about this. 5 rookie quarterbacks have played in the conference championship game. They've combined for 9 interceptions. The only quarterback not to throw an interception in a conference championship game that was a rookie, Brock Purdy, and that was because he got knocked out after he threw 4 passes. So I think there's a really good chance Jaden Daniels throws one. Reed Blankenship, CJ GJ, Darius Slay. They've been great at picking off quarterbacks all season. So I see Easy in the chat. He's great at hitting the actual exact guy to get the interception.
Who's
prop.
he saying?
I'll see if he has any. I'll see if he has any thrown in there, and if we do, we'll bring him up on the screen. But yeah, give me Jaden Daniels to throw a pick. Kramer, what are you doing here?
All right, isn't this where you just said what the key prop is? Don't you just play Carter to go over a quarter sack?
Yeah, I also like that. Sure,
it's -105. What am I missing?
I don't know.
Is the handicap just simply that he's not been taking a lot of sacks?
He hasn't taken any negative plays, really. The one sack he's taken in the playoffs was him running out of bounds or whatever, and the guy got to the sideline where he didn't throw it away.
Yeah, it just seems like if there's going to be, they're crushing all the air raid principles, right? They're activating quickly. Not a lot of time for the pass rush. But to your point, the unfortunate injury to the guard there, Sean.
Very unfortunate.
By the way, you forgot to say unfortunate when mentioning earlier.
Yeah,
it was really unfortunate that it happened. But Carter to have over a half or a quarter sack -105. And I will also say I didn't want to be boring, but I'm also going to back up the truck on the Jalen Hurts anytime. -115. Are we kidding? What is this?
Yeah,
he's hurt, I guess, right?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
but Carter to get a sack.
Obviously, he's dealing with the injury, and also some injury news for the Eagles. Dallas Goedert, Dallas Goedert was at practice, not full participant. He popped up on the injury report there. Quinyon Mitchell seemed like he was out there. Limited. Hurts out there limited, but Cam Jurgens didn't practice today. So that if he somehow doesn't, I still think he probably plays. tomorrow, aka Friday, will be a big day for him to get out there. Because if he doesn't, if he's not out there tomorrow, I'm getting kind of nervous. So certainly their center Cam Jurgens, if he's not playing, that's a big loss for the Eagles O line. I still think he plays, but yeah, we'll see. Not a great sign him not practicing today. CJ, what do you like for the Washington props?
Like both of those, for sure. Carter, of course, a game wrecker. I think they're going to move the tackle down. Is that what they said? And maybe make him the guard. It just seems like a mess. And they said they're going to double team him, but I mean,
so what they would do is Landon Dickerson, who has a ton of experience at center, they would slide him to center and then bring Steen up for guard. Now Steen's pretty good. He's it certainly is a downgrade. It's not a complete nightmare scenario, but losing your center would be huge. So I kind of still think he plays, but it's tough because the back injury I don't think happened in the game. He didn't miss any time. So, and back injuries are weird. You maybe tweak something, they're going to be super coy and not tell you anything about it. I'll have to email my buddy Sal Palantonio, see if he's got any insight on that, or that he's willing to share. But I think, Dickerson at the center isn't a complete disaster, but obviously I'm hoping Jurgens is out there.
Sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say that so just to clarify what you said, Dallas Goedert being limited was him standing on the side, like being outside.
Yeah. And then he kind of participated in a couple things later on.
All right.
That's speculation because the media is not at that portion.
Yeah. Well, they said he was a part of practice. So who knows?
Standing on the side. Jurgens was left inside. So
yeah,
you were painting a very optimistic picture, I think.
How so?
Oh, I'm just saying that it sounds like Dallas Goedert stood on the side of practice and watched, and it sounds like Cam Jurgens is so hurt they didn't even let him go outside.
In the media availability, but they said he was going to be a part of the practice in a limited part. So whatever that means. Yeah, I mean the ankle injury popped up again. Goddard didn't miss any time, so we'll see what that means. And he's certainly played through a bunch this year. CJ, what are you doing? Washington prop.
All right, Washington prop. Sorry, Kramer's Eagle prop got me confused. I know he's such an Eagle homer. He wanted to give out maybe a double Philly prop or something. Maybe that's where I got thrown off a bit. But
you can give out whichever team you want.
Fair enough.
Don't let Sean guide your.
I know, and
direction.
I do like how Sean's Washington prop was a negative Washington prop.
I
enjoy it. I love it.
Was it going to be a positive Washington prop?
loves Zach Ertz all year long, just not this week.
Not this week.
Nope.
There's a lot of Jaden Daniels props I do like though, and there's a couple that I wanted to focus in on, but the one I'm like the most is 10.5 rushing attempts with him. Now during the middle of the season, they Kingsbury dialed back the called rushing attempts because he was injured. He had those ribs injuries or whatever. But now that he's been fully healthy, these are the last 3 weeks. He had 16 attempts last week versus Detroit, 13 versus Tampa Bay, 16 versus Atlanta. He didn't play in the Dallas. I mean, he did play in the Dallas game. He had 6. He had a couple rushes early on. So 16, 13, 6 versus the Eagles. He had 9, but that was all when for more of a game script. They were down. So even if they don't call, but so the Eagles, of course, great versus the rush. Not great though versus rush in the shotgun formation. I think there's something like 18th in formation, especially when they're design plays. And when Washington went to the empty formation the last time they played, that's when they kind of gave them trouble. Because they could spread out that D line and just trap and just do pure. Daniels is good enough as a runner to go up the middle on that. So 10.5 attempts seems like a lot. Also 14.5 longest rush. I like that as well because he hits that. He's hit that every single game. But I'm just going to go with over 10.5 rushing attempts. I think obviously we know the playoff games, the quarterbacks have won to run the ball, but Daniels is a different beast when it comes to running. I mean, it is designed, and Kingsbury has, I think, tripled the amount of play calls for called rushing play
design
runs in the playoffs. And he's really unleashed and let it go. So I think he clears this number pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, without that Dallas game, obviously they pulled him early, but 16, 13, 16, and all kind of in the other 3 games, all kind of different game scripts too. Like, I love props where you can see it getting home multiple game scripts.
Well, and I think the key is the way that I'm guessing the way they're going to defend Jaden Daniels will allow him to rush into the space in the like towards the sidelines, short yardage that will like we discussed. He's been very good at like playing the defensive back off the receiver. So whether it turns into a 2-yard rush attempt where he gets tackled or a quick little pass, I'm with you. I think that's a lot of the game plan. And I think in general, and I'm kind of sad we haven't because it's the Redskins. We haven't been more positive about this, but it is the air raid concepts that are actually being successful here with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, no, it's
and it's like what you get when you merge the air raid with a quarterback that can run into that space and just create that extra attacker. So. Yeah, I'm with you. I think I was trying to pitch this to Sean and he wasn't having it. I was saying like, hey, I think this is actually more they're losing script than anything.
Yes, that's what I mean. And the reason why he got those, even the 9 versus the last time they played the Phillies, because they were trailing by 2 touchdowns the entire game.
Sat back. Yeah. No, and I would also say why I'm kind of high on the Eagles is because of how good at like how why are you laughing? This is like I'm giving independent analysis.
Whenever you give an quote unquote objective take on why you're high on the Eagles and you state it like that, it's very funny.
Completely objective take on the Eagles. They've been a great tackling team. In open space, and I feel like that's where you can really get cooked by the air raid. And I think that was part of the Lions' problem was that they were, they so down the depth chart. They didn't have guys like Zach Bond, defensive player of the year candidate, out there making tackles in open space. Oren Burks had a couple of great tackles in space, rallying around and tackling. And I think that's how you slow down the air raid. For my Eagles prop, this one's an interesting one. I don't normally dabble with this market, but I like it here. Give me Devonta Smith, longest reception over 19.5 receiving yards. He's 10-5 to this over throughout the season. He's had some really good games over his career against Washington. Also, he doesn't go back-to-back games without getting a 20-yard catch. So the entire season, he has not had back-to-back games without getting a 20-yard catch. Almost had one, but then got lit up by the defender there. I think Hurts likes him on the deep ball stuff. They're going to design some deep shots, I think, to him, at least a couple. And him getting to 20 yards, a 20-yard catch. He's also very good yards after the catch. I think there's a lot of ways he gets this home. So Devonta Smith, longest reception over 19.5 yards. Kramer, what are you doing for the Eagles?
Him to get 5 catches is plus 125. Love that.
And I think
we've discussed him having good games.
I was kind of going towards Goddard as the guy, but now if he's not 100%, maybe Devonta takes some of that stuff over the middle.
It does seem like Hurts is a little bit more comfortable throwing to Goddard, but maybe just anecdotal. The matchup against the Commanders continues to be good. The defensive backs are not. It's not a strength of this team, and they haven't really been attacked recently. Yeah, Devonta 4.5 receptions, 48.5 yards. Both will be on my ticket this weekend, I think. Zach Ertz is on the other side for me. Tried to talk you into this one as well. I think this happens in a lot of versions of this game. They've been deploying him as a threat, definitely within the red zone, but in those key 3rd and 4th down situations, often it's Zach Ertz who is in some sort of option route where Jaden Daniels will scramble towards his space to make it even more difficult to cover him. 3.5 catches is the number. It's very low. Give me the over.
For Devonta?
No, Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz. And so wait, what was your Eagles prop then?
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter.
Oh, Jalen Carter to get a sack. That's right. Okay.
No, half sack. It's a quarter over a quarter sack. Minus 105.
That's crazy.
I think he gets the half sack. That's what I was actually talking about. I thought Washington was going to move their tackle down to replace their guard.
Oh,
and they might slide things around. Right. I don't know what they're going to end up doing. That'll be interesting.
I would say that's what I read.
The as you know, the offensive line coach for the Commanders, who is being greatly assisted by Jade Daniels' abilities. He was not a very good offensive line coach, but he was very into the concept of cross training positions, something that didn't work very well during his time on the Giants. So it will be interesting to see if his offensive line has that capability.
CJ, what do you got? What do you got for the listeners here?
For Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Last breaking news here. We're going to go triple revenge. Jahan Dotson.
Yes.
Coming in. How about these numbers? Over under. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to go with. Half of a reception is a prop. So he has to have 1 catch.
That's all?
Or if you want to go yards, which I don't know why you would, if all you need is 1 catch, 3.5 is the yards.
Okay.
I personally go with the risk. There is a world where he gets 1 catch for 1 yard too.
Oh yeah,
they've done it before. They try to give him that bubble screen, and he gets
loses
down.
yards.
Right, he loses yards. Absolutely.
How do you hit the? Yeah.
Can we counter it? Under yards over reception? Yes, we can.
Well,
right?
stay tuned for a private stock angle. Not Johan Dotson, but in that vein.
Why would he be this? Well, first of all, why would he be this low? He's not.
Well, you got the Jalen Hurts passing game, of course, which everyone's down upon.
Yeah, but he's running. He's out there a lot.
He is out there. He's running routes, and he's been coming on as the season gets, and a little more trust in him.
Had that touchdown against Green Bay. First touchdown.
Stay tuned for that first touchdown. He only had that 2 weeks ago. I mean, so it's crazy, but that is a great counter.
I mean, it's the most.
Parlay.
Yeah, it's the most obvious first touchdown because the price. It's like it just happened. He's out there, and so last game, 62% of the snaps, but game before that, 57%. So in the playoffs, very clearly cemented as the third option, and. Yeah, so it's basically Devon. So if you look at routes run, it's Devonta, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, and then.
Wow. I mean, in a scramble play, he's
right there. Fourth.
And again, I have to remind
in routes run,
he just needs one catch.
So which way do you go?
One catch.
You take the catch, right? Not the yards.
You take the catch.
Well, how could you?
Why would you take the yards? I don't understand. Unless you're laddering it.
No, why would you take over yards? There's no way you hit over yards without hitting over a half catch.
Yeah, if anything, you parlay the under yards over the catch.
Yeah, we're just having the conversation to help educate the audience.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, don't do that. What are you doing? This one I've already feel like I've hit on this, but I got to go back to this. Well, give me Dawson Knox anytime touchdown for the Buffalo Bills, 7-1.
That's crazy.
Now, certainly some of these games haven't come with Dalton Kincaid out there, but he's out snapping Kincaid, which I know some of it's for run stuff, but
he got the target last.
He got the target last week,
which, by the way, would have been the Bills' first touchdown.
Yeah. And he had one against the Broncos target in the red zone. Josh is trying to get him the ball in the red zone. In 12 playoff games, Dawson Knox has 6 touchdowns. Now he doesn't have one so far. And what is the worst team against the tight end? It's the Kansas City Chiefs. So the fact that you can get Dawson Knox 7-1, I mean, maybe play Kincaid as well, and half a unit on each. I'm just gonna Dawson Knox is my guy at 7-1. That's a great price. DraftKings Sportsbook promo code SGP.
Yeah, I would actually advise not playing Kincaid. If you want to play a second person, like throw Ray Davis or something, or another 7-1 guy, Curtis Samuel, who we'll definitely talk about him during first touchdown. But Sean, fun trivia for you. He got a red zone opportunity last week. You know how many receivers got red zone opportunities last week? Curtis Samuel.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, I mean,
no tight ends.
Right, 100%.
No. I'm not talking missed targets, but actually had the ball in your hands in the red zone. So,
I love that.
Why not just do that, Sean?
It makes
both are 7-1.
So wait, Ray Davis is the other 7-1.
No, Curtis Samuel.
Oh, Curtis Samuel. Yeah, I don't.
Ray Davis is plus 425. There's a lot of decent touchdown prices on the Bills side of things. If you think there'll be a decent amount of scoring, I think part of the reason the numbers are juiced a little bit is because the anticipation there will be lower output in this game.
So what are you doing here, Kramer and the Bills? Are you playing that Curtis Samuel? What's your official play? I mean,
I'm with
I like
you
Samuel.
on Dawson Knox.
Okay,
but and unlike the Allen one, which it was easy for me to put it to the side because there are other whale opportunities, but Josh Allen is still being priced like an NFL side.
Yeah.
What do you mean he's not going to score a touchdown?
No, I love
Have
this
we
too
watched
as well.
these? How many touchdowns last week, Sean?
2. And he could have had a third.
I'm going with half of what he did last week. Doesn't even need to do what he did last week, just half of it. Yeah, I feel like a donkey just giving it out, but when people, which by the way, this show's free. The DMs are open. When people ask me what's the mortgage payment play this weekend, it's going to be Josh Allen.
I love it. I'm with you 100% on Josh Allen.
Win, loss, like any game script. You know what Josh is going to do? Score a fucking touchdown.
Howard in the chat pointed out Matt Collins more of a red zone target than Dalton Kincaid.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Matt
What's
Collins.
The price on him though? He's pretty.
He's 650.
No, really.
I think Collins. Yeah.
Hold on, let me throw.
I think we got to take for the Degen
600. Yeah, you're right. Oh Jesus.
I think Mac Hollins, Knox, those are some interesting options. CJ,
I see throw him in the cauldron over here.
I see in the chat less chitty chatty, more laddie daddy.
Oh no.
Which is of course your
look at this
your
avatar. Hold on. Look at this guy. He's proudly Miami.
Yeah, Florida Panthers,
got
Dolphins,
all the logos,
Marlins, and Heat. Fit them all into his profile.
There's a duck in there too. Oh, that's the cane. Okay.
What are you?
That's become a rallying cry, kind of like this my Jared Goff.
Yeah.
The less chitty chatty, more
laddie daddy.
Yeah, I mean it's we've turned the we've turned the darkness into.
We're doing
light.
too much chitty chat.
Hey, we are doing too much chitty chat for sure.
My apologies, audience.
I was just cooking up things as well.
Nice.
I like the Dawson Knox yardage, to be honest with you. Like he said, like he's been splitting with Kincaid.
Yeah.
Kincaid did score a couple weeks ago, right, with that amazing catch, but that was like a bailout play, that one-handed catch for Denver.
No, and I was going back and forth with this with Kramer. Do you play Dawson Knox over 1.5 catches, or what do you have as receiving yards?
15 and a half.
15 and a half. Yeah, I kept going back and forth.
I like the yardage here. I think he gets that. I mean, he's been. Let's see. He had last time they played each other, he had 4 for 40 against the Chiefs. Of course, I don't think Kincaid was playing that game, but that's not the point. The point is, it's been more of a 50-50 split, as you said out there with the yardage. He's just out there. I mean,
it's the strangest thing ever. Right. They gassed up Kincaid as if he was going to be this mega. Like I thought he was a lock to get 80 catches. They go over his, and they're like, nah.
They haven't adjusted.
We're a running team.
Yeah,
Knox blocks better.
I mean, it's funny because the Eagles' offense has been catching a ton of flack, but you look at the way the Bills are playing offense, especially in that Ravens game, it's kind of similar. It's like, hey, pound the rock, get the mobile quarterback going. We don't need to throw for a ton of passing yards. When we get turnovers, let's take advantage of them. Kind of a similar formula there.
Right. And of course we don't have to go over again how bad the Chiefs are against a tight end. I think there's to be honest with you, I think there's room for both Kincaid and Knox for yardage. I think Kincaid's like 36 or something like that. I mean, I think they both hit this pretty easily. But I'm gonna lock in on Knox just because it's such a lower bar to hit.
Yeah, like Knox to have a game. For me, my Kansas City Chiefs prop. You could play certainly the Kelsey anytime, but I'll give you an interesting one. And our buddy Adam Rosenberg clued me into this one. Xavier Worthy over 4.5 rushing yards.
I saw that.
He had 1 carry for -8. Kind of got the play blown up by Baltimore, who was all over that. Before that, 4 games in a row going over this number, 6-2 to the over these last 8 games. Andy Reid always loves himself a cute jet screen or. What do you call the jet
screen?
Yeah, jet sweep.
Jet sweep. Yes, he always loves one of those. Xavier Worth, and maybe even you get like a screen where it's like he's behind that counts as a rush. So Xavier Worthy, feel like a decent number of ways this gets home, and I think you could break one too. We'll get
and shop around because I've seen 3.5.
You got to be
okay.
3.5.
You got to be concerned with the Chiefs though. They like that pop pass of Mahomes.
Yeah, he likes to get those passing stats by a little shovel there. How about which one was it?
Hot potato.
What was one where Josh Allen asked him which one there was a Coleman? He asked or Shakir, do you want it to be a run or a pass? He said like that.
He's the people's quarterback.
Kramer, what are you doing for the Chiefs?
Obviously, I'm also on Kelsey touchdown, but there's an absolute mortal lock in this game.
Really?
Yes.
What do you got?
Patrick Mahomes rushing attempts. Yeah. What would you set it at?
It's a good question.
I'm sure you didn't look at it, so give me your best.
No, I didn't.
Guess. You know they juiced up his yards.
Yeah,
that's a no because he likes to run more in the postseason.
Yeah.
And of course the Chiefs are favored in kneeling the clock out. That would be considered rush attempts as well. So what is that number for you?
And he was also, if you remember,
had 7 last week
against Houston. He was doing that bullshit where he runs backwards.
Yeah,
and lost him a bunch of yards.
He had 7 for 14 last week.
Yeah, it wasn't close to his number. But also interesting. The last time they played in Buffalo, he did not run the ball at all, which is odd because that was a very big game for them. And normally he does like to run. I would set his attempts at 7.5.
Wow.
Easy guessing 5.5. Yeah. It's 4.5.
What?
Yeah. I know.
That's what it was last week too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a great number.
Shame on us for not smashing it last week. This will be in paper form.
Someone gave it out on the show, but all right.
Oh, you did.
CJ didn't include it in the payload of things he wanted me to make paper tickets. So there was no tailing done.
Well, it's a lock when cousin Mush checking in saying he betted over 8.5.
No. So this will be a paper ticket in less than 36 hours.
Wow. Yeah, let's get in on that for sure.
Actually, in about 36 hours is probably when I'll be putting it in.
Okay.
1 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Over at the Circa. Shout out to the Circa.
Yeah.
CJ, what's your prop for the Chiefs?
Of course. Listen. If you want to look at the Mahomes format,
look at
is in the notes. I'm just saying.
I believe you, but sometimes it helps to be pushed.
I know.
Would have been a great ladder.
Yeah, well, no kidding. He's a perfect
7.
ladder. I mean, he only needs the 2 attempts, then he does the 3 kneel downs.
You're right.
I'm also going rushing attempts.
Now,
if you look at that Buffalo rushing defense, just absolutely terrible. Derrick Henry didn't go off, but he had that one drive where he was just taking over the game. I don't know why they didn't stop giving him the ball. I tried to go Pacheco last week. I thought he was coming on and making the playoff back. I think he's shot right now. I don't think he's going to finish the season as the primary back, and I think Reed is just trying to find out. And any attempts with him just seems like wasted plays almost. Like, why are you even doing this?
Hunt does look better though.
Kareem Hunt looks better.
Yeah.
He got that first touchdown. He looks like the man to come through. We're just talking about rushing attempts in a game script that could definitely play like this way. What would you set this number at?
I may have looked at the number, but I don't want to cheat. But Sean, we can ask. Sean's always good at the lines making stuff. Sean, what would you make the Pacheco Hunt number?
Pacheco Hunt numbers, attempts, yards. Now they do think they're going to split. I don't think they're going to split. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I guess. Geez, because Pacheco's been all over the place.
Yeah.
Reading the Kansas City beat reporters, it does seem like more positive is being said about Hunt.
Okay, so I guess I would set. I don't know. I'll say Pacheco 9.5 carries. Kareem Hunt 7.5 carries.
Wow. Well, you have value on the under then, because they're both at 8.5 carries.
Oh, okay.
So I like Hunt over 8.5 carries. His yardage is a little bit more, 35.5. Pacheco's 31.5. I think if you can get 11, I think if you can get 11.5, of course you would go under Pacheco. I don't think Pacheco's gonna have more than 5 carries, but I love Hunt over 8.5 carries.
I had the same thought when I saw they had the same number.
Yeah.
I kind of just had it seems like they're projecting that Hunt is going to play more.
Right.
So although I was surprised to see Pacheco was given more red zone touches last week. So,
even though Hunt got the first touchdown.
Well, I get an eye test. He looks better.
Yes.
Pacheco not running angry like
and that's what I'm going
Kareem Hunt's running like his job is on the line, which is probably a good handicap of the situation. Of course, everyone has already signed up over at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Underdog very good about tossing some boosts in your old lobby. You would not be surprised if there's already one sitting in there. If you're an Underdog, if you got the Underdog Fantasy going, we'll be giving out our entry here in a little bit. Get the 50% deposit match up to $1,000. I got a 50% profit boost for the NBA sitting in my lobby right now. You never know what kind of boosts they're going to toss your way. Super fun. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. That's right. Rhythm is gonna betcha, as the great CJ Sullivan likes to say. And Rhythm, great for picks, props. They got you covered for a conference championship weekend. Play that Rhythm really likes. De'Ami Brown under 3.5 receptions. Rhythm only has them projected at 2.1 receptions for De'Ami Brown. So get in, start building your own models. Really fun, really easy to do. Just use the slider. It's next thing you know, you're up and you're running. Golf right around the corner, college basketball, and obviously NBA as well as NFL. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/RITHMM. All right. What do we want to do next, Ryan? First touchdown or the weekly leader angle?
Yeah, your call. I could do either. By the way, I'm going to be firing off some some of these underdog championship game drafts.
Oh, okay.
I remember those were enjoyable last year. So maybe I mean, it's only 4 teams. It's kind of a fun banger, and I think in general, all 4 teams have interesting kind of contrarian angles. Anyway, you want to do first touchdown?
Sure. First touchdown for the first game for me. I got 2. That's all I need. Now Eagles obviously.
Are you chopping the unit right in half, or
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe.
Are you going to apply some sort of like, you want the wind to balance out, so you're going to risk X and then 2X?
No, I got 2 plays for Eagles. Now Eagles usually end up being pretty chalky when it comes to the first touchdown market. The 2 outliers for me, Grant Calcaterra with Goddard dealing with this ankle thing. Calcaterra is 100 to 1. That to me is definitely worth a small sprinkle. And then Jahan Dotson 45 to 1. He already had the first touchdown earlier on in the playoffs, like Ryan was saying, and CJ when he was talking about his props there.
Price seems off.
Jahan Dotson 45 to 1. Grant Calcaterra 100 to 1. Those are my 2 plays for Eagles Commanders. Kramer, what are you doing in that game?
And yeah, the Dotson thing doesn't quite make sense to me.
Yeah,
has to be on their revenge angle as well. I went with Devonta Smith because I thought
okay,
does sound like Dallas Goedert's going to play. Kind of with you there, so I wasn't going to go back to the Calcaterra. Well, so 11 to 1 Devonta Smith for 40. So I got the Dotson at 40 to 1. I then later found at 48 to 1, like I believe you mentioned. So shop that, get that number in the cart before buying. And then on the Washington side, how do you not play Zach Ertz? I get it. You're acting like Zach Ertz doesn't exist and isn't going to score a touchdown against his old team this week.
Don't know who you're talking about.
19 to 1 and De'Ami Brown 22 to 1. The guy's out there 80% of the snaps. I'm not sure why he's being priced outside of the kind of core group of obvious spots. So, and I also think the way that Washington has executed early game drives in these games, I don't think the Eagles should be heavily favored to score first. The combination of how Eagles have started games with how Washington has started games, Philly should not be overwhelming chalk to be the first touchdown.
Well, they were slow to score first in previous games, but as of late, they've been doing a better job of scoring first.
But this is the 3rd time they're playing. Like, there's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't have a heavy skew to your first touchdown prices, in my opinion.
Makes sense. CJ, what do you got?
Yeah, I piggyback yours with, of course, with Dotson and Calcaterra. I did. Calcaterra.
Well, that's 100.
100 to 1. 100 to 1.
Well, now with both of you assholes on it, now you know what I got to do. I got to find a way to put a couple bucks on it.
Here's one I'll throw in there that hasn't been mentioned at 60 to 1 here on DraftKings.
Oh,
ooh! And when I think of these
listening.
NFC Championship games, I think of like these. I think of the villains that have come through Philadelphia. You know, they're usually those these role players that have been around for a while that just have those names that everyone kind of knows. Like this, where did this bastard come from? And it's I'm liking Jamison Crowder.
Oh,
60 to 1. I could. He scored against us the last time they played against him.
Yeah, and
he's just one of those guys that finds the back of the end zone. He scored last week versus Detroit. He's a guy who finds the end zone in the playoffs. These are the kind of guys that score touchdowns. He'll have like 3 catches, 16 yards and a touchdown, or maybe 2 touchdowns, something like that. But I can definitely see Crowder back in the end zone at 60 to 1. A man who plays in the slot, who will be out there for the goal line package.
The slot. How's the slot?
I can definitely see a curse word being made up for Crowder.
Jamison Crowder's like a lefty reliever.
Yeah,
he's smart, understands off the offensive scheme, runs good routes. That's why you see him pop around here.
Knows to sit down in the zone. Knows to pop up. Right, exactly.
Yeah. Knows how to. It's funny how many athletic receivers never learn how to run routes.
You want to kick it over to the weekly leader ladder segment? I'll start.
You want to do first touchdown for the other game?
Oh yeah, sorry. First touchdown for Bills KC. Dawson Knox, obviously big Dawson Knox.
What price
guy.
did you get out there?
I'm seeing 34 to 1. The other guy who had the first touchdown for Buffalo, it wasn't the first touchdown in the game, but why would I not bring back Ray Davis? Clearly they like him in the goal line situation. That's 39 to 1.
Wow.
And then on the other side, KC again, the chalk is really painful, but Noah Gray 29-1. He's always was a red zone threat in the regular season. Him getting one, I would not be shocked. And this guy, who, and maybe there's some fun props to be played for him, but Samaje Perine at 75-1. The Bills linebackers, Ryan. We've been fading the Bills linebackers against pass catching running backs all season long. Samaje Perine qualifies as a pass catching running back. Had a pretty decent game catching the ball against Buffalo last time they played. He's 75-1 for first touchdown. So him getting a screen in the red zone and getting in at 75-1, yeah, count me in. So Perine 75-1, Noah Gray 29-1, Noah 50 Shades of Gray, Ray Davis 39-1, Dawson Knox 34-1. What are you doing, Kramer?
Yeah, Perine actually got an opportunity in the red zone last week.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on Knox. I may have found a 36-1, but that's neither here nor there. Curtis Samuel is the other guy.
Yeah.
Again, you mentioned it earlier, but he got an opportunity. A little bit has vibes of Jamison Crowder. If Jamison Crowder was specifically brought in by the offensive coordinator as like the guy that I wanted to bring in for my offense. And so, although, heavy in the Khalil Shakir angle for targets and for all the metrics you want to look for like fantasy projections, I think Curtis Samuel, I feel like we talked about this last week on the show. He's kind of a red zone threat, gadget guy. A lot of ways you could see him get worked in here for a first touchdown. He's 40-1, Sean. And then on the Chiefs side, what I saw out there was a couple attempts to get Hollywood Brown the ball.
They were kind of forcing it to him. Yeah.
And when you look at the breakdown, any meaningful breakdowns in the game, it makes me feel like it's not going to be D Hop. It's going to be Hollywood Brown and Worthy as the two outside receivers. And so the fact that you can still get Hollywood Brown at 18-1, like I believe Worthy is somewhere in 10 to 12-1 range. So the fact that Hollywood Brown all the way out at 18-1, great price there. And then Noah Gray, good instinct, Sean. But why not shoot the moon with Peyton Hendershot? What got me all the way on this one as I was watching some highlights. I love to search a guy's name, just see what he's up to. And in that week 1 game where everyone remembers Isaiah Likely, shoe slightly too big, Chiefs get the win. There was a play where Roquan Smith hits Mahomes out of bounds, and a street clothes dressed Peyton Hendershot comes over and tries to fight Roquan Smith on the sideline. Roquan Smith then after the game says he better not find me in an alleyway. So when you have the top man's back like Peyton Hendershot did, you give this man a shot for one of those Andy Reid shovel passes around the red zone. 100-1, Sean. 100-1. He's the clear third tight end.
Now, who's the guy that does the? And I should know this. I'm blanking. Isn't it Noah Gray who does the Chiefs quarterback sneak?
They have recently over the last couple like since Mahomes got hurt last playoffs, they've run a couple sneaks with Noah Gray.
Yeah.
Correct?
Okay. So that's another reason why I like Noah Gray. But
I don't know if they'd run that shit in the playoffs though. If I'm being honest.
I thought they did, didn't they? I'll double check.
Check that they talked about running it. I don't know if they actually ran it.
It could have just been they no,
they mentioned it because they had run it in situations where he was hurt.
Yeah.
Anyway, Peyton Hendershot on the field for 14 snaps to Noah Gray's 29 snaps. So also, if you like doing a snap value to your first touchdown prices, great value there. Great value. Anyway, CJ, first touchdown.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, let's see who.
CJ looked like he was getting tired listening to my
No, I'm just saying who.
Less chitty chatty, more laddie daddy.
Just trying to figure out who you guys left me on the rosters here. I think we're gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Dante Hall. I think for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I love that.
Why not?
Carson Steele is available, friend of the program.
Nico Remigio, for crying out loud. I do like Carson Steele at 90-1. To be honest with you, I'm gonna toss Carson Steele out
Kick
there.
return for a touchdown.
And I mean,
please.
And who knows what's gonna happen when Andy Reid gets inside the 5?
Also, Sean, if we don't hit the Carson Steele first touchdown,
right,
my God,
out of principle, you have to toss it out there because it's the bookend. Could be your last time to play the Chiefs. Let's get it out there.
Hopefully, Circa has their first touchdown prices up when we get out there.
Oh, they will. I think
Sunday's games haven't been up.
but I think that's because there's Saturdays.
The anytimes haven't. The first half. I'm mistaken. Anyway,
But two solid ones I like. That's not too crazy of a long shot. I got Patrick Mahomes at 19-1.
Yeah.
Of course, he likes to start it off. When he does get his rushing touchdowns, it seems to be early too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
And who like to start a tone setter, if you will.
Well, and he was just added to the injury report with an ankle injury, so he loves overcoming adversity.
Oh, no.
So the fact that they added him on, what better way? Oh, look at our hero powering through the ankle injury, just like he did against the Texans. Love the ankle.
Jim Brown quality to him, where he'll limp to the huddle. Did you hear what he actually admitted that maybe that flailing wasn't a good idea? Maybe I should have done that one, but the rest were all penalties.
Yeah, come on, come on. Even he knows it's a clown show.
And on the Bills side, I'll toss Keon Coleman out there at 22-1. He's been coming on, and he is kind of a jump ball kind of getter for it. Not a touchdown specialist, but I would say the one Josh Allen trusts the most to make a one-on-one play if he has to go into the end zone.
The knock on him in the pre-draft process was he was slow.
I love it.
And didn't create a lot of separation.
That's perfect.
But he was a contested catch guy.
He's a perfect for a contested catch guy. Yeah, he's an athlete. He's more than any Chiefs D-backs can handle in a one-on-one situation. That's for sure. And like in a fade ball setup.
Who's that receiver that we love on the Panthers?
Xavier Legette.
Yeah. Keon Coleman's like a more well-spoken
for sure.
Xavier Legette.
Come on, right? What? Because he
very well
he
spoken.
eats raccoon and he talks country.
Yeah, he's very
I'm just
well
saying,
spoken.
Keon Coleman had some comedy skits in the beginning.
That's true. Coleman is a very funny man as well.
He's great. There are a bunch of characters.
And you're right. He's not eating squirrels. So.
He's more polished, if you will, more refined. Yeah,
slightly more polished.
He was saying about buy your winter jacket in the summer. Yeah, it was fun. He was kind of like mini viral there. All right, let's talk a little laddie daddy, aka some ladders. Get the stick. I got a step ladder here that I just got going. A step ladder, but it pays 15-1. To me, this is the wheelhouse, and I misspoke earlier when I said he had a good game against Buffalo. It was actually the Texans, where Samaje Perine had 50 receiving yards. Samaje Perine 25 plus receiving yards, 425 to get to 40 receiving yards, which he did 3 games ago, is 50-1.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, sorry, 15-1, not 50. Still,
I was gonna say we need to go invest some money in this.
15-1 for Samaje Perine against these Bills linebackers who have struggled with the pass catching running backs for a nice chunk of the season. It just kind of makes sense in this game script. So, that's my ladder, and then I'll also toss in, while not technically a ladder, fun little add-on to the Devonta Smith longest catch over 19.5 yards. What if he's the first guy to get going? Devonta Smith race to 20 receiving yards is 4-1, which I think is a very, very good price. So Devonta Smith race to 20, 4-1. Perine mini step ladder here, 425 for the 25 receiving yards, 15-1 for 40 receiving yards. Love it. Kramer, what are you doing?
So my favorite leader bet, which by the way, if you have access to a Zach Ertz reception ladder, that's probably one of the ladder angles I would take, but I just went right for a game leader market because this Buffalo Bills Chiefs game, the Bills are going out of their way to share the load through the air, and they're running the ball a lot. The Chiefs haven't exactly had dominance through the air until last week. Travis Kelce took over, so that obviously creates some weirdness in the market. And now back to Hollywood Brown again. The preseason videos of him sitting courtside with Patrick Mahomes, the attempt to get him the touchdown in the game last week, the clear matchup advantage he's going to have this week. I'm not a big Hollywood Brown fan, but the fact that he's plus 850 to be the game leader in receiving yards is nonsense to me.
Yeah.
Well, also too,
it's nonsense. He's going to be running routes down the field. Travis Kelce literally looked like he was getting ready to Anthony Richardson and tap the top of his helmet as he was running towards the end zone there. I mean, and again, please do not tell me this off season when he's hanging out with his girlfriend on tour that he's working out. He didn't bring his personal trainer, and that's fine. He doesn't need to bring his personal trainer. He's out of shape.
Yeah, he's just an old tight end.
And he had a great game. He can still get open. But anyway, Hollywood Brown plus 850 to lead that game.
Yes.
Only that game.
Yeah.
In yards.
Well, what's the difference between that game and the Eagles Commanders game?
What do you mean?
Or sorry, what's the difference between that game
he's
and
he's 19-1 to lead both games. So if you're going 850, might as well go.
I think you might sprinkle that as well, right?
I tend to think
unless you have an angle game script wise.
I tend to think to me, the Eagles Commanders game, it's much clearer that there will be some yardage. And I think basically, I don't think Terry McLaurin's going to get shut down. And I don't think Devonta Smith is going to get shut down. I think both of those guys will have 100-yard potential in their in the game.
Okay.
And so, yeah, for that reason, I part of why I like this bet as well is I think the idea of the leading receiver in the Chiefs Bills game having 65, 75 yards, something is real.
Well,
so,
and yeah, I mean, both
Good
Chiefs
point.
and Bills are going to have each like 6-7 guys that catch passes.
I mean, I know the reason to think that the Washington Philly game might be lower scoring because it's third game and all that. But I think from a stats perspective, the idea that there could be more drives that end empty or whatever in the Eagles Commanders game seemed higher to me. So yeah, I would so it's more of a fade of everyone else in that game, I guess. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't play the weekend.
Okay.
I wouldn't play the weekend. Yes.
Fair enough.
But
I do like attacking that game in particular for the longest or some of the most receiving yards. I mean, both games feel pretty wide open to dogs. Kind of
but to that point, I would play Devonta Smith to have the most receiving yards in the weekend is 950, and so that's probably how I would play it back. And again, if you're comparing the prices, Devonta Smith just to be the game leader is plus 450. And so if I think the game leader of the game is also probably going to be the weekend leader, I'm taking Devonta at plus 950 there. So,
okay.
I also, I think maybe I'll play the plus 450 too, because I do think the idea that he is the primary guy. I mean, clearly something's going on with AJ Brown. He's still being a petulant child with his book. And Devonta just goes out there and works. He's just he shuts his mouth. He's a Nick Saban guy. He just works. He doesn't. I've never seen Devonta Smith change his social media avatar to the Joker. I've never seen him sitting on the sideline making a scene with a book he obviously can't read.
You saying AJ Brown can't read is one of your.
He went to
takes.
Ole Miss. It's not crazy to say a student athlete at Ole Miss didn't get a great education. That's not a hot take. It's not a hot take.
Ryan, the difference between champions and near champions is the ability to play for something outside of self. That's from Lou Holtz.
AJ Brown should read that fucking passage.
He did.
He's not, because he's making this about self.
I don't
It's
think
literally
so.
that passage.
It's about bettering himself for the team.
That passage couldn't more epitomize exactly what I'm saying. CJ, what do you like, leader?
Laddie Daddy, what do you got going?
Please help me.
I want to defer my time back to you guys. I like this back and forth going on there.
I know that CJ's on my side with the book. So
listen, I come in here and I certainly don't want to ruin the chemistry you two have there. I'm very conscious of that, and it's, especially being an Eagles fan.
Doesn't want to get into the fight between mom and dad.
No, I don't. And as an Eagles fan, I don't want to pile on. That's what makes your guys back and forth great. The jabs, any third party judging, I'm probably going to side with the Eagles side. But as far as the fight goes, that's what we're here for. So I think I speak for the listeners when I say,
be the fumes, be the spark.
Yeah, and I like how you compare a great education to being illiterate. That's also.
I mean, I'm broadly connecting dots, but people understand what I'm saying.
But I appreciate you showing restraint. You by saying, I look at these numbers. I see Kenneth Gainwell 80-1. Oh, yeah. 80-1 to lead the rushing yards just in that game.
I have a very.
I mean, come on.
I have a very honest disclosure. I had a come to Jesus moment with these things, and it's like, holy shit, Ryan. When there's only like 4 games or 2 games, it doesn't make sense to still attack variance because there's obviously going to be less variance. And so yeah, I no real crazy long shots for me but the Gainwell stuff is interesting.
Kenny Gainwell. You're talking about it 150 to 1 for the weekend. Why not? You're talking about an injury. You're going to get out there. That's the only way it happens. But at the same time, like you said, there's only 2 games.
Barkley is well over that 400 touch threat. I mean, Barkley is going to have the most touches in NFL history when we finish this year, I believe. So
that's implying he gets the Super Bowl.
Who had it before him? Larry Johnson.
I don't think he needs to get to the Super Bowl.
Anyway, my leader, while you look that up there, while you look up the potential injury for Saquon.
Not looking up the future. You can't do that.
It is funny. We look at the market between rushing for the game and then for the weekend. Because Saquon Barkley, obviously, the lock for the weekend, he's minus 340.
That's crazy.
Which is absolutely insane. And I was looking at Kareem Hunt, who I talked about earlier. He's 31 for the weekend. Why even do that? Because you're going against Saquon. But he's 6 to 1 to lead the Chiefs game in rushing. You're basically doing a heads up bet in my eyes, between him and Cook. Josh Allen can sneak in there, but I think Josh Allen helps you with James Cook take down his number, where Mahomes isn't really going to put too much of a dent into Hunt's potential. If he can, Pacheco might, but I think, like I said before, I think it's going to be obvious that Hunt will be the clear running back in Kansas City. So it's 6 to 1 to lead that game in rushing. I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's a good.
I like that. I like that weekly leader.
Well, again, good attacking of variance, and that's how I would play it too, probably. That or a quarterback. What's Josh Allen's price in that?
Josh Allen, let me see.
So I like Hunt at 6. Maybe I'll play Hunt at 6 to 1.
Josh Allen, I bet, is below Hunt. Is that crazy? Josh Allen,
yeah, that's what I mean.
Right, absolutely.
No, I'm saying he'll be a longer shot.
Oh, you think?
In the
game rushing market.
Let me go to the game here. I got the conference game.
Or whatever you were looking at. I don't think he has
the weekend, but Josh Allen to lead that game in rushing yards, totally, I can see that.
Let me get that. There we go. Where did it go off to?
All right. Well, CJ's pulling it up. Reminder: we got a private stock prop.
Really?
We're gonna release.
Sure?
I'm gonna uncork it from Ryan's wine cellar. If we get
the fuck's it got to be a wine cellar?
You're a wine cellar guy.
No,
big house up on the hill. You probably have
special lights, heating lamps, the right level of humidity.
Five more likes and we'll get this thing out for the chat, motivating the chat.
Are we whoring you for a small amount of likes?
No, I think this is a decent like ratio we got going here.
Real quick, the rushing yards is James Cook is the favorite of plus 110, then Josh Allen plus 205.
Oh wow.
And then,
so you're right. He is ahead of Hunt.
Right.
See, I thought
ahead. It's plus 205, and Hunt is 6 to 1. Pacheco right underneath him with 650. Then Mahomes, then Ty Johnson right there.
So I think you found the sweet spot there, CJ. Because Josh Allen at 2 to 1, that's not big enough for me.
Not at all. But Kareem Hunt 6 to 1.
Yeah, I like your. Well, yeah. I mean, to your point, you're the version there, and there's a lot of different ways you can get home here. That don't include Pacheco, just because there's a version where Pacheco just doesn't get used as much this week.
Yeah,
I think there's like a serious possibility that you see Pacheco only get like 3 to 5 carries.
And I'm saying 12 carries for 80 yards could get this done or something like that. Just like you were saying with the 60 yards in receiving. Right. Same thing goes with the rushing.
This is being noted to invest in paper tickets when I get to Vegas.
Yes.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of paper tickets flying around. Let's close it. Let's do our underdog entry. Then we'll close it out with the DGens only prop. What do we like for underdog? Obviously, we were just talking props. I know. Put your fantasy projections hat on. Switch gears here a little bit. But Kramer, I'll let you go first. 3 entries. Maybe we don't go crazy. I feel like when we keep it to the regular non-spicy is when we have our best work.
Spicy.
No spice.
Are we doing touchdowns?
Yeah, touchdowns if they're not like 5x multipliers or stuff like that.
I mean, do we just throw Kelsey?
I'm fine with Kelsey higher rushing and receiving touchdown. That makes sense to me.
Right.
CJ, are you? Can you make a case against
no.
Kelsey?
I mean, everyone's seen that stat that came out this week. His last 12 playoff games or whatever like that. He's got over 70 yards in every single one of them. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, and I would even. It just feels even stronger that he's. We could also play fantasy points. It's 13.8.
I like the TD.
Okay,
Yeah.
You're wearing the TD shirt, Ryan.
Yep.
You got it's got almost like a Chiefs red to it.
Yeah. We ask if you want to know what I'll be doing this weekend to have an enjoyable weekend. It's going to be this: touchdowns, Ertz, Allen, Hurts, and Kelsey, and every version of twos.
Oh, okay.
So a round robin, but only in twos. So 2 at a time.
All right.
So Ertz and Hurts,
Hurts and Hurts.
Ertz and
Right.
Kelsey.
I
Yeah,
like
we'll get those all the way around, and that's
CJ, what's your contribution here? What do you like for the conference championship?
This is Underdog Fantasy.
Yes.
Now, this is a name that has not been brought up today.
Mm.
It's been referred to. There's been props used about this man, but which is the ultimate buy low. AJ Brown.
Yeah.
His number is 59.5. Now I get the last 2 weeks have been awful statistically, but he's at inner peace with that. He can block.
yes,
You know?
sure.
He knows his number will come up. I mean, there was a time this year where like he was locked in for 100 yards and his number would be 91 and we'd still be playing higher.
Yes.
Now we can give him a 59.5. He's
It's
historically great against
high and low.
historically great against Washington. That's what we're doing. We're buying low. I have no problem higher than 59.5 for AJ Brown against this game.
smash.
I think, and I do think Hurts will be able to throw this game. I don't think
Yes.
I don't think he's throwing for 350 or anything like that, but
Yeah.
I mean a solid 230, 240 yards would be no problem.
So Kelsey higher rushing receiving touchdown. AJ Brown 59.5 receiving yards higher. I noticed Patrick Mahomes, his rushing attempts over on Underdog Fantasy is 4.5, and the higher is a little bit spicy, Ryan.
You said no spicy, but if you want to break your own
Well,
rule,
it's
that's
it's
fine.
1.1. You know, Kelsey's 1.05. Just because you don't like it, I like it. Let's toss it in there. So Mahomes higher 4.5 rushing attempts. AJ Brown higher 59.5 receiving yards. Kelsey higher rushing receiving touchdown. $100 entry returns you $699. And if you want some bonus bucks, underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Closing it out with the
You know I'm a degenerate.
#Degens only.
For me, there's one wild card this weekend for the conference championship game. The guy's all over the field, gets some red zone looks, maybe recovers a fumble in the end zone. Matt Collins, 2 touchdowns, 100-1. Like Matt Collins as a guy, I'm rooting for him, even though I will be on the Chiefs. Matt Collins, 2 tutties.
I like him as a guy.
I do. I mean, he's an interesting, quirky fella. Seems like a good guy. Will be showing up, I'm sure, dressed in some fun outfit.
They
Matt Collins,
show
2
us
touchdowns.
every time now.
Small little sprinkle there. Kramer, what are you doing for your DJ?
Let
prop?
CJ go before me.
Okay, CJ, what do you got?
Wow. I like
Kramer is there furiously working.
Well, I wanted the people to know how many touches Saquon Barkley has.
Okay.
Well, I was just gonna say, like I brought it up last time. I remember the show was. It's weird how people appreciate Matt Collins' aloofness, but then if there's another star receiver who has a book on the sideline, all of a sudden they are petulant.
Yeah, I mean, dressing up
petulant
as
child.
Fred Flintstone, that's not a distraction.
Barefoot in the snow. I mean, that's physically damaging. That's against your team. That's selfish behavior right there. That
Yep.
can get you a pneumonia.
Yeah, we can have this.
Probably brought the inauguration inside.
Already
for crying
had
out
this
loud.
conversation, but it's clearly different levels of expression.
Come on.
The all-time touch leader is Larry Johnson, or I'm sorry, James Wilder had 492 touches in 1984.
What year was that? Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
But then the practical leader, 2006, Larry Johnson, 457. Saquon sitting on 435 right now, so
Wow.
he will be effectively in second place after this game.
and I can't believe people didn't want to rest him week 18. Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway,
CJ?
Fantastic. This weekend's got a lot of fun opportunities with the tight ends. That's for sure, and that's what we enjoy doing. Touchdowns and tight ends.
Yep.
Show us your tight tutties, if you will.
Nice. Firm tight end.
Absolutely, you can do all kinds of combinations there. I'm focused on Gray and Knox. I believe they're very undervalued there, especially Gray. With all the Kelsey talk, I know you guys are locking in Kelsey as a free square, and it's hard to argue against it. But Noah Gray's a very good chance of scoring, and his numbers are crazy. 4-1, I believe, is his 425 on DraftKings, 45-1 for 2 touchdowns. Dawson Knox is 70-1 for 2 touchdowns.
I'm seeing 100-1.
100-1.
Yeah.
I mean, you put that together with, you put that together with Gray, and I mean,
Bada bing.
you're looking at a 2,200-1 parlay right there. 2 of those. If you just want to go simple though, doable.
You're making my brain hurt here. Hold on. How much to 1? Golly. All right.
I think it was 20. It's
2,200.
2,200-1, I believe.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Japan did say he wanted to dial international. So walk people through it, because this is feel like you're right here, CJ. What do you got for the folks?
2,200-1 is Dawson Knox 2 touchdowns, Noah Gray 2 touchdowns, parlayed together.
So
That's
just 4 touchdowns.
beautiful.
4 touchdowns, absolutely. Now, if you just want to go the 1, if you just want to go Gray 1, Knox 1, you go Goddard and Ertz, which is very doable.
Yeah.
That's 607-1.
Whoa.
If you want to take out Goddard and Ertz, watch. I don't know what you want to do. Maybe put in your calcateras, if you will. That was a shout out to the chat who makes fun of my pronunciations. By the way, I caught him in there. That's all right.
They make fun of you?
Yeah, it's my style. You know, I mean,
Sticks and stones, CJ.
so that's just 3 touchdowns, and that's if Goddard. You know, that is 550-1 because he's 13-1 for any time, just for those 3 touchdowns. So I like the all 4 touchdowns, but I like focusing on Gray and Knox instead of Kelsey and Kincaid.
Gray and Knox getting in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you. And shout out to Easy. He likes Zach Bond interception parlayed with Trent McDuffie interception, parlayed together 118-1. Love this. Yeah, Zach Bond like kind of hanging around through the middle, picking off a pass there. I like that. And McDuffie has been good in these spots as well. Josh Allen at times, it's a little reckless with the ball, maybe pressing. Could totally see that. Kramer, are you ready to release your degenerate prop, or do we release our private stock?
No,
we did hit the required number of likes from the chat.
Okay, my degenerate prop. So I already gave you out the round robin that I'm planning on playing.
Okay. Yep.
But if you want to have fun, you take Devonta Smith, Hollywood Brown, you put them together, 72-1.
What?
Wait, Devonta Smith, Hollywood Brown, what? 2 touchdowns?
Sorry, Devonta Smith 1 touchdown, Hollywood Brown 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
72-1.
Wow. Well, that only makes me ask one question. Well, what is it with Devontae Smith 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what are we doing here?
In my mind, I was like, well, Hurts. I got Hurts scoring a touchdown. Barkley's going to get.
Yeah,
get some touchdowns.
I also
Good
like
point.
the under.
I do also like the under, but all right, just for you guys.
Thank you.
Hold on, it's
Just for a $6 over here.
390-1.
Yes. Then now we're talking.
All right, Sean, should we
I
sprinkle that?
I like Hollywood Brown. I also like this private stock prop, which the chat was kind enough to release from the prison.
Is this the one that we were talking about earlier?
Yep, got it in earlier today.
Oh wow, that's what a treat.
Yes, this is something we got down on 60-1. So we were talking this. I like Dawson Knox to have a game, but also him just catching one ball in the end zone, scoring a touchdown. I could definitely see that game script. Now, this is for some reason you're getting rewarded a ton on the SGP machine. So Dawson Knox touchdown, Dawson Knox under 15.5 receiving yards, Dawson Knox under 1.5 catches. So basically, Dawson Knox to have 1 15-yard touchdown, which I'm pretty sure he's done earlier this year.
Sure.
What would you guess that would be priced at, CJ?
It's under receptions.
Yep.
It's under yards.
Yes.
It's anytime.
And he had this same game script against the New York Jets, where he had 1 catch for 12 yards, and it was a touchdown.
Wow.
60-1. 60-1. Got in on it.
I was going to guess 25-1, but you're saying
I didn't let you guess.
I can get this at 60-1.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Now I like him
For one thing to happen.
Yes.
One simple thing.
Well, and especially
but
when
it's
you
3
factor
things, but it's just 1.
right.
when you factor the math too, which is really what got me going. As Sean was pricing out in person, I was adjusting the price as to what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And already when we just did the 1 catch and touchdown, it became something that was much bigger than it should have been. Obviously reverse correlation, but then you would think placing under yards should have almost no effect to it because we've already placed the under
to
1.5
Ryan's point,
receptions.
like, it was 30-1 just under receptions and touchdown. Now, when we added under 15.5 yards, it shot up to 60-1.
Which
Right, because he's not going to have a 20-yard touchdown. Well, if anything, the way I'm thinking,
the math ain't mathing.
You know how the laddie daddy thinks. I want to ladder that lower. I want that under 5.5 if I can juice those odds up, because I see him as like, you know, those 1-for-1 yarders, gentleman stats, you know, on the goal line.
Well,
touchdowns.
to the point, like they often, however they program the correlation detector, overs just are obvious. If you go over 4 catches, you go over 50. You know, it's a. But to say under 1.5 receptions first, so you're already boxing your winning your parlay is only winning if you have 1 catch now, and that 1 catch is a touchdown. So you understand how the juice goes from 6 or 7-1 up to 30-1. That makes sense. But saying under 14.5 yards at this point, like, what are the chances that Dawson Knox has a catch for longer than 14.5 yards? There's no way this price should then get adjusted up by 2x.
Crazy. We broke the system.
It shouldn't. I mean, I think a lot of if the roles were reversed and this was an over, it would adjust almost nothing.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's why it's good to find these unders in the same game parlay market when they let you get to them. Great times as always. Big shout out to the laddie daddy. I know the chat.
75 minutes. There's only 2 games.
Time flew by. We got a ton of props. We of course have our pregame show Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific. We have our VSiN show, which knock on wood, CJ will be able to call in on Sirius, YouTube TV, VSiN.com. 11 o'clock East, Friday night, getting loose live from Las Vegas. Make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. CJ's got his episode dropping shortly after our show as well.
Coming right up after this.
Let's get it. Big game. All one word is the promo code. 15% off everything, including Kramer's Perky TDs shirt that he's rocking over there. And of course,
feels like harassment.
And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Best of luck, Sean.
Kramer, let it ride.